What's up, you guys? It's Aaron here, coming back at you with another book review where it's my job to read the books and share the life lessons I learned with you. Thank you again for joining me back on my channel, and today we will be talking about total leadership. Be a better leader, have a richer life by Stuart Friedman. So why did I pick up this book? This book was actually assigned to me in one of my MBA classes. Thanks, Professor Hammond, for assigning the book for our leadership and organizational behavior class. And this was a book that we read throughout the whole semester. And inside it, there were several projects and exercises to work on that we did throughout the whole semester, and we got to write it up and do it for our whole course. So it was actually part of my MBA class. Probably one of the best textbooks or assignments that I've had in a class. So thank you again, Professor Hammond, for assigning the book, and thank you to my group mates for helping me go through the exercises within the book. So the book really is an interactive workbook that is meant to be gone through with a group as you do it. So in our class, we were assigned 2 group mates. We did the exercises, and we were to report back to our group and talk about the things that we're learning, the things we're trying to implement, as well as hear from them and give each other feedback and encouragement on making our lives better. And it's not to only make your life better in school or work, but really across all your different domains. So your family, work, I included school in mine, your community, friends, as well as yourself. So all the different domains is trying to create 4-way wins. I know I listed off more than 4 domains, but those were the domains I further segmented mine into, and that we look for ways that we can improve in all of them. Because originally I thought life was really a zero-sum game. If I was putting more into my work, it was going to take away from another domain, as well as vice versa. But really through here in 4-way wins, we can find out that putting more effort into one area or doing something a little bit different can help the other areas and not take away from them. And that was the biggest epiphany that I got from reading this book. I would recommend this book to anyone who is in a managerial position or who is looking to be in a managerial position. It gives a lot of great tips on how to cope with being a manager as well as the other areas of your life. And I would recommend this to anyone who doesn't currently have satisfaction in their job or feel like it is eating them up, because it helps you realize that you can have more of a balance and that putting more into one thing doesn't necessarily take away from the others. So if you're in one of those camps, a manager looking to become a manager, or are currently lacking the satisfaction, this would be a great read for you. As well as MBA students, perfect fit. So if you're going to pick up this book, of course, there's a link down below, so if you want to read it for yourself, check it out. I would recommend reading the book with a group, because that's really where it's most beneficial, is where you can actually do the exercise and then go back to your group, pitch your ideas, hear back from them, give that feedback and support to help you move along it. So if you're going to pick it up, do it with a group. And once you have your copy, if you're like me, a lot of times I read these personal development books, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, or they have exercises, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get to that later. Definitely don't put off doing the exercises in this book. As soon as you come to them, definitely write it down, take your notes, do the exercise, work on it in that time period. Don't let it stack up. Work on it as you go through here. So stop procrastinating, do the exercises, and you'll benefit more reading the book that way than just to read it all the way through and then try to go back and do the exercises. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the book and the topics that it discusses. The first one, like in most personal development books, is that you need to find your why. Why do you want to better yourself at work? Why do you want to have a better home life? What really drives you in your life? And once you know that why, it makes everything easier from there. And there's often a quote that the bigger your why is, the easier it is to accomplish whatever it is you are working towards. So once you have your why in mind, from there you are going to be setting goals for you to work on. And it's not just about setting the goals, it's about setting the action steps to work towards your goals, as well as tracking how well your action steps are in trying to reach those goals. And all these goals should be going along with your why, as well as your true authentic self, which the book also goes through to help you reach that highest leadership potential that you have, as well as being true to yourself and keeping true to your identity as well. So in order to find your true identity, to find yourself, your bigger why, it has you walk through an exercise where you look at the major events of your life and try to pick out how those shaped you and why they were important to you, why they sound in your head, What were your biggest successes? What were your biggest failures? What did you learn from them? And how did those help shape you into the person you are today and where you want to go to in the future? So once you understand yourself and your values, from there it's time to write your leadership statement to help guide you in your goals and to creating the life that you want to, as well as living to your highest potential. Once you have that set up, it's time to look at the different domains. So in the book, they had 4 different domains. That was work, community, family, friends, and self. So within those 4 different ones, you want to look to see how you're currently doing them. Is your work at a 10 and family life at the 1? Is community at a 3 and you want it to be at the 5? What do your numbers look like? How closely does your ideal set up with how you are currently living your life? And once you have that written down, you're able to work. It's like, okay, my work is currently a 5 and I think it should be an 8. Or if you think I should be spending 8 hours of my day, so 30% of my time should be spent at work and 30% of my time should be spent with family, 30% sleeping, and then the other 10% doing whatever else. See how closely those align with how you're living. Maybe you're spending 50% of your day at work. That doesn't line up. So it's trying to figure out how can you have 4-way wins where you're still getting your work done, being more effective at work, but then also being able to put more into the other domains. Maybe you're not volunteering and community is something that is important to you. You want to figure out how you can tie maybe community work or family time together so you can have a 4-way win. So an example of a 4-way win for me would be volunteering with my coworkers. Why is this a 4-way win? Well, we are becoming closer as coworkers. We're doing good in our community. It's our work. We're loving what we do at our work, which is good. It helps me with myself, saying like, yes, I am putting good out there. This helps me take care of myself. And then from there, I'm going to be happy from volunteering, being with my work, doing something that I enjoy. That's going to transfer into my family life as well. So that's an example of a 4-way win, that doing one thing is able to positively affect all 4 domains of my life. So with the 4-way win in mind, now it's time to look at who your key stakeholders are. So those 4 domains I mentioned, it's time to look in those and see who are the people that matter most within each domain, and what are their expectations of you, and how well are you meeting those expectations? So often we just assume that we know what other people expect from us and that we're working on it, but we really don't know what their expectations are unless we talk to them. So an example for this is if I'm at work, I'm thinking that my boss expects me to check in at a certain time, check out at a certain time, but in reality, maybe my boss doesn't care, and it's just all about the time that you put in. Doesn't matter exactly when it is, but as long as your projects are getting done, that's all that matters. So with that new piece of information, I would be able to change up my hours, and as long as I'm meeting those expectations, it doesn't matter if I check in at 8 and clock out at 5. As long as the work's done, it is what matters most to my stakeholder. So with that communication and finding out that that's important, I can better shape my life around it. So it's important to talk to your stakeholders, find out what their expectations are, as well as how well you're currently meeting them. Because you may think you're doing a great job, and your stakeholders may be like, no, you're not meeting any of my expectations. So at home, you may think like, oh yeah, I'm taking the garbage out, I'm doing all my duties I need to be, but then your spouse will be like, oh yeah, I wish you would just spend time cuddling me or watching Netflix. So you would not be meeting those expectations. So it's critical to have that communication and talk to your stakeholders to find out what it is they're looking for and how well you're meeting them. And now the other ways, you could feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything right, but maybe you're actually exceeding the expectations of your stakeholder. So really, the whole point of that ramble is that communication is important. Talk to your stakeholders, the people that matter most to you, and learn what their expectations are so you can work on filling those expectations and surpassing them. So one of the major themes of the book is being innovative. It's looking for different ways to do things. We talked about the 4-way wins. Is try to look at trying to meet all of those different areas of your life and find those unique solutions that help you grow and have more satisfaction in each of the domains. And with being innovative, you also need to track. So if you think that doing 30 minutes of meditation every day is going to help you in the 4 domains, obviously it's going to help you in the self domain, maybe if meditation is for you, but it's going to help you in the self domain because you're taking care of yourself, giving yourself some space, and that should help you do better in the other 3 domains as well. But you need to track and actually see if the metrics are being changed by doing the meditation every day and seeing how well your satisfaction with the other domains is, as well as your ability to meet your shareholders' expectations of you as well. So not only do you need to be innovative, you need to find ways to track them and get feedback. So that's just a quick summary of some of the themes, some of the topics in the book. For me, it was great, again, like I said, to think about my own personal life. Instead of being a zero sum, how can I find win-win scenarios where my life can actually become better? And I think by trying to dig into that, actually focusing on the different areas and try to be innovative, find those 4-way wins to implement, and to actually communicate with your stakeholders, you can live a more fulfilled life. And it will be less stress because you'll know exactly what's expected of you, and you can create more balance and find unique solutions to meet all of the issues that may be in front of you. One of the greatest benefits for me from the book, and what I am looking most forward to taking away and keep working on, is the ability to experiment with 4-way wins, is to try to use some creativity and different outlook to find those unique, innovative solutions to create more satisfaction across the 4 domains of my life. So I am tracking constantly. I have check boxes to see how many days in a row do I read, how many days in a row am I meditating, how many weeks in a row do I have at least one date night with my girlfriend, Katie. So with these experimentations, I can track and actually see if it's benefiting me or not. And I think by doing enough experiments, I will find that secret sauce to living my most fulfilled life. So if you stuck with me to this point, thank you so much. Please hit the like button. It helps out my channel. Subscribe if you enjoy getting these book reviews. Leave any books that you would like to see me do a review down below. I'm really into personal development. This is a stack of books that I've read already, and it just continues to grow. But then my reading list is also continuing to grow. So if you leave me a comment, let me know what your favorite book is, any book recommendations. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching this video. And I hope to see each and every one of you again very soon. Thank you.